Many people believe that if they become conscious enough, heal enough, or learn enough about relationships, one day loving another person will finally become effortless. They read the books, practice better communication, learn healthier boundaries, work through old wounds, become more emotionally aware, and all of these things can be deeply valuable. Yet even after years of growth, something subtle often remains. A quiet effort beneath the surface, a constant monitoring of the relationship. Am I showing up well enough? Did I say the right thing? Are we still connected? Did something change? Even in loving relationships, the nervous system can remain quietly alert, always watching for signs that connection might weaken, misunderstanding might appear, or distance might begin to grow. It isn't always dramatic. Often it is almost invisible. A slight adjustment in your words, a hesitation before expressing what you truly feel, a need to maintain harmony, a habit of protecting the relationship before simply experiencing it. Most people assume this is simply what love requires, that relationships naturally involve continual effort, careful management, and ongoing maintenance. But what if that isn't actually where the effort comes from? What if relationship was never meant to be something you managed? What if the deepest intimacy begins at the very moment the one trying so hard to relate begins to soften? Perhaps the greatest transformation in relationship has never been learning how to connect more perfectly. Perhaps it has been discovering what remains when nothing inside you is trying to protect a separate self. Most relationships do not begin with love, they begin with protection. Not because people lack sincerity or kindness, but because every nervous system arrives carrying a history. Before we know how to receive another person openly, we have already learned how to protect ourselves from disappointment, rejection, abandonment, misunderstanding, or loss. Without realizing it, relationship becomes organized around those protective adaptations. Love becomes mixed with reassurance. Honesty becomes mixed with caution. Closeness becomes mixed with vigilance. Connection becomes mixed with the fear of losing it. This is not something we consciously choose. It is simply how an unregulated nervous system attempts to remain safe while moving toward intimacy. The mind often calls this intimacy because the feelings are real, the affection is real, the care is real. But underneath those genuine experiences, another movement is often taking place. Two protective systems are trying to feel safe together. One person seeks reassurance, the other seeks certainty. One withdraws when overwhelmed, the other reaches for greater closeness. One protects themselves by controlling emotion. The other protects themselves by expressing more emotion. Neither person is wrong. Each nervous system is simply repeating the strategies that once helped it survive. This is why relationships can feel confusing. You can deeply love someone and still find yourself defending, explaining, withdrawing, pleasing, fixing, or quietly monitoring the state of the relationship. Love is present, but identity is still organizing how love is expressed. Even after profound spiritual insight, this pattern can remain surprisingly subtle. You may no longer believe yourself to be a separate self in the philosophical sense. You may experience moments of deep presence, unity, or spacious awareness. Yet relationship has a remarkable way of revealing what the body still believes. A single conversation, a misunderstanding, a moment of silence after sending a message, a change in someone's tone. Suddenly the old questions quietly return. Am I enough? Do they really understand me? Have I done something wrong? Am I losing myself? Am I being appreciated? How do I keep this relationship healthy? These questions are not evidence that you have failed, nor do they mean your awakening was incomplete. They simply reveal that part of the nervous system is still organized around maintaining a separate identity. The body is still attempting to preserve me while reaching toward you. As long as that organization remains, relationship carries a subtle burden. Every interaction becomes partly about protecting identity. Every disagreement becomes slightly personal. Every moment of distance carries the possibility of becoming a threat. This is why relationships can feel exhausting even when they are deeply loving. Not because love is difficult, but because identity is heavy, and the nervous system cannot fully relax while it believes it must simultaneously defend itself and remain connected. Perhaps this has always been the hidden pattern. The effort has never belonged to love itself. The effort has belonged to the separate self trying to survive inside love. There comes a quiet point in development where something fundamental begins to change. Not because you become better at relationships, not because you finally discover the perfect communication style, not because the people around you suddenly become easier to love. Something deeper changes. The one who believed relationship was responsible for completing them begins to dissolve. As embodiment stabilizes, relationship gradually stops feeling like something you have. It becomes something life is doing. This is a subtle distinction, but it changes everything. Before this shift, relationship often carries invisible jobs. It must provide certainty. It must confirm your worth. It must protect you from loneliness. It must reassure you that you are loved. It must help you become whole. Even the healthiest relationships can quietly inherit these responsibilities. Not because anyone intends it, but because identity naturally looks outside itself for the stability it cannot find within. As long as relationship is asked to complete the self, every interaction carries pressure. Every disagreement feels larger than the moment itself. Every period of distance can awaken old fears. Every misunderstanding seems to threaten something essential. But as the nervous system becomes increasingly regulated, those invisible jobs begin to disappear. Nothing needs to complete you. Nothing needs to validate you. Nothing needs to repair what was never actually broken. The relationship is finally free to become what it has always wanted to be, an expression of life rather than a solution to lack. Love begins to feel surprisingly ordinary, not because it has become less meaningful, but because it no longer needs to carry the weight of your identity. Presence gradually replaces performance. You stop trying to appear conscious. You stop trying to be the perfect partner. You stop measuring every interaction against an ideal. Instead, you become available. Available to listen without preparing a defense. Available to speak without manipulating the outcome. Available to remain present even when uncertainty appears. Listening replaces defending. Honesty replaces strategy. Curiosity replaces certainty. The nervous system is no longer organized around protecting identity. It becomes organized around openness. This changes even the way conflict is experienced. Conflict no longer announces that someone has failed. It no longer threatens the relationship simply because tension has appeared. Instead, it becomes information. It reveals where contraction still exists. It shows where fear is asking to be met. It uncovers places where the body still believes separation is necessary. Nothing needs to be won. Nothing needs to be defended. Life simply continues revealing itself through the conversation. Instead of asking, who is right, a quieter question naturally emerges. What is true here? Truth becomes more important than victory. Understanding becomes more valuable than agreement. Presence becomes more powerful than persuasion. This is where relationship begins to transform into something almost impossible to describe from the perspective of identity. It becomes a living field, not a field created by two extraordinary people, not a mystical experience reserved for a few. Simply two human beings whose nervous systems are becoming increasingly available to reality. Awareness begins recognizing itself through another human being, not through concepts, not through agreement, not through constant harmony, but through the effortless recognition that the same life moving through one body is moving through the other. The paradox is beautiful. The less each person needs the other to complete them, the more deeply they are able to meet. Nothing is lost. Affection remains. Passion remains. Care remains. Commitment remains. Perhaps they deepen even further. But what quietly disappears is the effort of maintaining a separate self while trying to love another. Relationship no longer becomes the place where two identities negotiate safety. It becomes the place where life continuously recognizes itself through two unique expressions, each of the same awareness, aim. One of the greatest misunderstandings about relationship is the belief that connection is something we create. We imagine that if we say the right words, communicate skillfully enough, heal enough, or become conscious enough, connection will finally appear. But perhaps connection has never been absent. Perhaps what we have been experiencing is not the absence of connection, but the presence of resistance. The deepest intimacy cannot be manufactured. It cannot be negotiated into existence. It cannot be secured through perfect behavior. It reveals itself naturally as the nervous system gradually releases its need to defend against life. This is why genuine transformation in relationship is profoundly somatic. The body begins to soften. The breath becomes less guarded. The subtle tension held behind the eyes begins to dissolve. The chest no longer braces before difficult conversations. The impulse to prepare, explain, justify, or protect slowly loses its urgency. Nothing dramatic has happened, yet everything feels different. Protection begins to relax, not because you decide to become vulnerable, but because vulnerability is no longer experienced as dangerous. The nervous system has become spacious enough to remain present without immediately organizing around defense. From that openness, listening changes. You are no longer waiting for your turn to speak, no longer quietly preparing your response while the other person is talking, no longer filtering every word through the question, "What does this mean about me?" Instead, you simply receive. The other person is allowed to exist exactly as they are in this moment. Presence becomes more important than interpretation. Curiosity becomes more natural than assumption. Silence no longer feels threatening. It becomes spacious. You also notice that an old question quietly disappears. How do I stay connected? For much of life, this question seems intelligent. It motivates us to improve relationships, repair conflict, and strengthen intimacy. But underneath it often lives a hidden assumption. That connection is fragile, that it can easily be lost, that we must continually maintain it through effort. As embodiment deepens, another recognition slowly emerges. Connection is already here whenever nothing inside is resisting it, not because every relationship remains close, not because everyone agrees, not because conflict disappears, but because connection no longer depends upon psychological control. It becomes the natural expression of openness itself. Relationship gradually stops feeling like work. It becomes participation, life meeting life, presence meeting presence, reality continually responding through two human beings willing to remain available to one another. The other person does not need to change. You do not need to become someone else. The circumstances of life continue to evolve, just as they always have. What changes is the system that experiences them. The nervous system is no longer organized around defending a separate identity. It is organized around receiving reality as it is. And from that simple shift, intimacy is no longer something you struggle to create. It quietly reveals that it has been here all along, waiting beneath every layer of protection, waiting beneath every strategy, waiting beneath the effort to become someone worthy of love. Perhaps the deepest relationship has never depended on finding the perfect person. Perhaps it has never depended on saying the perfect words, or avoiding every misunderstanding, or becoming someone who never struggles. Perhaps it has depended on something far quieter, becoming increasingly unavailable to separation itself, not by denying your humanity, not by pretending conflict no longer exists, but by no longer organizing your life around the belief that you are fundamentally separate from the one before you. When nothing inside needs another person to complete you, love does not disappear, it becomes simpler. There is less to protect, less to perform, less to manage. The need to be right softens. The need to be understood relaxes. The need to hold everything together quietly falls away. What remains is astonishingly ordinary, a conversation, a shared silence, a gentle touch, an honest smile, a willingness to remain present when life changes. And somehow, because nothing is being asked to carry the weight of identity, everything becomes infinitely deeper. Love is no longer measured by intensity. It is recognized through openness, not through dramatic moments, but through the quiet consistency of presence. Perhaps this has always been the hidden invitation of relationship, not to complete one another, not to rescue one another, not even to perfect one another, but simply to meet, without the walls that once made meeting seem impossible. Perhaps relationship has always been life recognizing itself, one meeting, one conversation, one shared silence, one moment of presence at a time. And perhaps that recognition has been quietly waiting beneath every story, beneath every fear, beneath every search for love, all along.